I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need to revisit narcissism.
You know, it's funny, this subject always pops up because I have this story with in this town with a covert narcissist that got a hold of me, because that's what they do. And our episode, which I just listened to from 3 years ago, on narcissism, is always, for some reason, like the most popular one.
Yeah, people look it up and they're like, they write us and like they're engaging. And because I think everybody's been like a victim of that.
A target. Yes.
Target.
A target.
Target.
Yep.
Target. Yeah.
A target. Yep. So I went back and listened to the episode. It's pretty bad.
Okay. Why do you think it's bad?
Well, first of all, I was in the crux of it when we were doing it. I was healing, like actively healing, which is wonderful. And I love that we do this podcast for that reason. We're so like actively doing the work.
Yeah.
But I was all over the place. I didn't understand what had just happened to me. I was just learning. So I wanted to do a quicker podcast for people who feel like they might be a target of a narcissist that, you know, is like just wanting to get what the hell is going on with them. Just a quick view and, you know, just to make it easier. You know, I love our podcast because I go back and listen to 3 years ago. How did we talk that long?
I don't know. Because we entertain ourselves and like and each other.
Wow. It's so funny. We're falling into a marriage. This podcast is like a marriage. Like at first it was like 2-hour episodes.
Hours on the phone, and then it's like grocery list.
Now we're two ships passing in the night and you guys get to listen to it. Okay, so real quick, I was a target of a narcissist, a covert narcissist, which is one of the worst. A lot of females are covert narcissists, just to catch people up to speed.
I'm assuming that means they don't look or act, or you can't tell right away.
Yeah, they're not cocky. They're usually you know, like a little bit of a wounded bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're very doe-eyed. But mine was not a lover. Mine was a friend, and actually somebody who was basically paid by me to, you know, to help me with my child, perform a service, and ended up being a real nightmare. And like, it's so funny because if you suspect you have a narcissist, all narcissists are the same. Every single one. Like there is different types of narcissism that you can kind of like look out, but they all follow the same exact timeline. So if
like a pattern,
yes, it is. It's like it is a blueprint. So if you think that you are a target of a narcissist, you know, it's very easy to know. And I'm going to take you through the checklist quick.
Yeah, what's the blueprint? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
So there's a couple of different stages. There's idealization, the love bombing phase. There's devaluation, the confusing decline. There's control and erosion. There is the discard, sudden and slow death of the relationship. There's hoovering, which I'll go over what that is, recovery. Those are the stages of a narcissist relationship.
Okay. And what do those mean? What do those look like?
So let's start with idealization. It is the love bombing phase. The person seems perfect for you. And this happened to me. it seemed like a perfect fit. I just couldn't believe it. Like we felt so lucky that we found her, and it was just amazing. Like she felt lucky that she found us. Um, she she was like, we had all these things in common. Uh, there's like a mirroring effect that you're like, oh my God, this just couldn't be any more perfect.
So
And
did
I
they
know
just,
that,
I mean, did they just kind of instinctively know? They must
yes,
be like real good people actually, because they can read people really well and then provide exactly what you need, right?
they do.
Yeah.
They do. And they know what they're doing. That's the thing. This is not just a personality. Like, I have a, like, I'm codependent. I tend to people please because I, you know, I really prefer when everyone in the room is happy just for my safety. This
Okay.
is not like that. This is more, I, I'm I'm making them love me. I'm making
Okay.
them, like it's more calculated.
It's calculated. Yeah. And now I'm recalling. So it's interesting. As you're sharing, I'm recalling the one experience I've had with my narcissist. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that love bombing that happened. I remember that happened.
So
Yeah.
happened. And it doesn't matter if it's a friend, uh, an employee can do it to you.
Mm,
It can be a lover. It can be really anyone in your life. And that's what you have to understand. If they are like, and be careful with these people. There's a lot of covert narcissists want money and
mm,
admiration. They are so obsessed with being admired for whatever they're doing. And I now look back and see that, but
mm.
I didn't see it then.
Okay.
Um, you feel deeply seen, understood, and even like a soul, like a soul sister or a soulmate. It's
Mm,
like it's unbelievable. Like you're just
yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and
then what?
you, well, then the devaluation process. So this could go on for a long time. This
Mm.
special part, this fun part of the relationship, the
How long did
friendship.
it go on for you?
Uh, Probably a year. A
Wow.
year. Yeah, probably a year because you know, it it was, yeah, it was about a year, I would say.
Wow.
We were like jiving, everything was going well. She was saying all the right things. I had very little knowledge of what she was talking about, so I thought she was always the expert.
Mm,
So I was like, "Oh my God, like thank God we found her."
yeah.
Well, I didn't know because I didn't know that I was really putting like and we were paying her for a service, but it had to do with our child, and we were putting her in a pretty dangerous situation because she acted like the expert. And
Okay.
I didn't know the difference. So it's a scary it,
Reminds
looking
me of
back.
like these Netflix shows like The Bad Doctor or like, where these
That's
guys are
what
just
it is.
pulling everybody or Dirty John.
Yes, it's the twin this the
Twin Flames
Tindler's
universe.
the Tindler swindler.
The Tindler
But
Swindler.
yeah, yeah. So I actually we talk about that all the time, how
Yeah.
that could be a thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at every single one of those con artists, they all have this bombing phase.
Okay.
It is absolutely every single one of them. They would be a covert narcissist like no other because
Okay.
they come in and they also make you feel sorry for them in some way.
Mm,
It was always I always felt bad for this person because the husband was kind of she always painted him as kind of abusive.
a
Like
brute.
yeah, like you were like, that's not a good situation. And she would call and complain just here and there. about the husband. And
Sprinkle in
she,
a little. Yeah.
yeah, there was always something going on that she was like
Yeah.
the victim of in
Yeah.
some
Oh
way.
gosh, that makes so much sense. I'm thinking about it was a relationship, and I'm thinking like he would sometimes sprinkle in his hard, difficult childhood and the relationship with his parent. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something going on. And I remember there were several of my friends also there doing it. We
Yeah.
talked about it quite a bit. You know, she would like she would make us feel sorry for her. So we would kind of want to be
Mm.
the stick up for her
And you
type
kind of,
thing.
yeah, you want to, she plugs into the need for people to rescue others, right? So you're
Yes,
important to,
totally.
yeah.
And then
Interesting.
well, and they do so well. Okay, I'm going to go to the devaluation process. Little criticisms start. Masked as helpful advice or joking, or they withdraw emotional warmth unpredictably here and there, not all the time.
Can
Like,
you remember like an
yeah,
example?
yeah, I do. Like, you know, she would. Well, towards the end, these really things really started happening in the like last year and a half of the friendship.
Mhm.
You know, like she would make other people more important than
Mm,
like other people's children more important than my child.
mm,
Like she would actively do that. Be like, what is going on? Like, why are you
mm,
leaving her out? And like I would be confused as
mm.
hell. You know, I'd
Yeah.
be like, well, that's weird. You
Mm,
know, like you don't think if you wouldn't do it, you can't think it's possible.
yeah.
That's
That,
the
yeah. That makes so much sense. I like again, I'm reflecting back and yeah, like I got love bombed and then slowly he would like criticize something I would was wearing or doing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then she would like say stuff like Lizzie's, you know, uh Lizzie's are, you know, uh she's like our pit bull. And I'd be like, what? Like she would say stuff like I was aggressive, and I'm like, no, I just don't want my child to get killed.
Yeah.
But like, does that seem like am I
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like, so then I'd be like, maybe I am aggressive.
Yeah. So a bit of gaslighting.
So gaslight. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Gaslighting begins. You question yourself
Yeah.
more and more. You feel like you can never quite do or say anything right anymore. And that's where I was. I was like, wait, like this, I'd point out something weird. And instead of being like, thank you, it was met with like the silent treatment
Mm,
or, you know, something weird. Like, and I was like, what is going on? Like,
yeah. You were like getting punished in a way.
yeah, like, and
Yeah.
we were like supposed to be all doing this together. That was the plan.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like, I'd bring up something like the beginning plan was all of us doing it together. Like, we had a plan. And then every time we did like, I did the plan, she would like make it seem like I was taking over or I was
Mm,
too controlling or I
mm.
got like this
Yeah.
feeling that I mean I was constantly like I don't want to be too aggressive because she had like planted that seed. And now looking back, I've been at a different place with the same service and have not ever felt that once about myself. Not once.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you start working harder and harder to try to make it like to do the right thing in the relationship. You're like,
Oh,
oh my
that
God, like
sounds exhausting.
it
And
was
I hear
so
you.
exhausting.
I totally hear you. Like, it's like almost walking on eggshells. Yeah,
You're looking for what's wrong with you because like it was so great in the beginning. You're like, it must be me.
it must be
I
me.
must have changed. I mean, hell, I'm 40, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going through like menopause. Like I'm
Yeah,
super confused and I feel sensitive. I
yeah,
feel like something's not right. I
yeah,
was starting to like, I was really like, did not feel good ever in it. Like I just started to feel terrible. And now being out of it for 3 years, I do want, like, if you're feeling this right now, once you're out of it, it stops. It's like there will be a slight period of like detachment, but then there is hope. So don't like that. It's not you. It's
Yeah.
not you. If you're feeling this, it's not you. And then the discard, sudden or slow death of the relationship. Now, this is the most important phase because either they coldly break up with you, which is
A blessing.
a blessing, such a, or they like they'll replace you quickly, which she totally did.
Right. But I think in order for them to discard you, you have to stop feeding them, right?
Well, there are ways that you can do that.
Because
There,
I remember there was no way this narcissist was letting me go. He would like almost stalk me. Like it was because I was feeding him. I was feeding the drama.
yes, yes,
So, but once I discarded him and I did it in a way like a very brutal way, but it was the only way I could do it. He then found another target.
target. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can handle this. Once you are starting to play the anxiety, guilt, shame game with these people, like you're just not feeling good, it is time to wake up because it is not you. I went to therapy, I explained the whole thing, and I had this wonderful therapist, one of the that said, "Listen, I have to say this because this is a toxic situation. It is not you, it is her."
Wonderful. Thank God for truth-telling therapists.
Seriously, I had to go to therapy over a fucking friend.
That's
Now
weird.
she was now she was absolutely involved with my child.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was so confused and she was basically painting this picture that my child wouldn't be happy anywhere else. It was very
Yeah.
fucked up. But I
Yeah.
had this therapist say, "It is not you. You need to really detach yourself. You really need to do this." And I started to recoil. And basically, if she texts me, I didn't text her right back like frantically in fear that she might be upset.
Yeah.
I did it on my own time.
Yeah.
I started to do less and less extra to make her happy. I just went back to a normal person. I didn't, I wasn't like overachieving like she had trained me to do more and more and more. So basically, I went what's called gray rock. And I did it actively and honestly. I said, "Listen, I think our friendship is over, but let's just try to do a business relationship where, you know, I pay you and you do this for me."
And how did
And
she react to that?
and she was like, I mean, she had no other choice. That was what the decision was. But she went behind me and smear campaigned the shit out of
Yeah.
me.
I remember that. That was painful.
She
I
triangulated
wanted to
every
like
single.
fly over there and beat the shit because right when I met her, I knew there was some evil going on.
Yeah, you did. So did my sister. She called her
Yeah.
a carny. But which I think is a really nasty thing to say
About
about
carnies.
like carnies. Like I broad stroke apology, carnies,
Any carnies out
nothing
there.
like her. But anyway, I like shut it down to the point where I was not being nasty. I just was being very precise, very
Yeah.
cold, not buttering up that putting that like
That Lizzy butter.
let Lizzy
That
honey
Lizzy
butter all
butter that
over
we
it.
all love.
Yeah. But like, like when you decide that it's either like, what the hell is going on? Just go step back. You don't even have to be mean. like I started to step back and I wanted to see it for its like I realized something was really wrong. Like she
Yeah.
was triangulate talking behind my back. I was hearing whispers of things she was saying about me. And that it was like an awful and then I got to see what she did to me and my other friends to to a new person. And
That's
that
all.
really opened my eyes.
Did you
I
warn
was
them or not really? You just kind of had to let them do.
that person she used as kind of her what's called flying monkey. Like she turned her so against me that it was
Yeah.
like
Impossible for you to even warn. Yeah.
I literally could not like there she was talking about me so badly, even to the point where like the girl, that other mother, would like send me like passive aggressive shit on like how to be more agreeable or
Gosh.
why I was like, yeah, it was like, it was really fucked
Yeah.
up. So I went, after the discard, or so at one point she just discarded me
Yeah.
because I went cold on her.
Yeah.
She just, and that was the best moment ever. I realized at that very moment, holy shit. Like, and then I told Scarlett, and she was so happy.
Oh, good.
And that we weren't going to go back there. And it was like crazy. Now, listen, they will try to hover you back in.
How did that happen? Did she try to hover you back in?
I think in the like once the gray rock started,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I did the honest gray rock. Like, not everyone's going should do that. Like, just going gray rock is enough. But she tried to
And
like
can we just tell the audience why it's called Gray Rock?
because you basically just you don't give them any energy, any like you don't feed any of it.
Yeah,
You
you become
just
as boring as a gray rock, like
yeah,
to them.
yep, yep. But I think she did try to hoover me back in. Um, but at that point, I don't know if you're like this, but once I see somebody for who they are like that, I cannot go back.
Yeah.
It is a like it's fundamental. Once I saw her ripping that other family off and I saw them so fucking clearly, there was no going back.
Yeah.
I tried like I mean the shit I tried to like go back on myself. I tried to
Yeah.
fix it within myself and fake it, and I just could not do it. But and in fact, I would have left 6 months before I did, but my best friend begged me to stay for 6 months and see how it went because
Yeah.
she was there too, you know? Uh, but once you get discarded and it's over and you realize that you've just been kicked in the cunt, because that's what it feels like.
Jeez.
Uh, you start waking up from the fog. You realize that you've really like been targeted.
Yeah. Did you have any PTSD after it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. I had adrenal fatigue.
Yeah.
I won't say it's all from that, but I don't think it helped. I
Yeah.
think, like I was in
Because
major
yeah, I think you're
stress.
on alert a lot once you're in that phase where they start, kind of discarding or like even right before you're almost like on high alert to please them and
It's
yeah,
it's so slow and chipping away, you don't
yeah.
even realize it.
Yeah.
Like she was interrupted like in the phase of love bombing that lasted quite a while. She was like constantly going over boundaries. Like she was like that weren't normal. Like
Yeah.
she was constantly asking more of a friend or even a client.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and then she would say, we're best friends. I'm like, I mean,
Yeah.
I have best friends that I would give both my kidneys for, but I've never know even them, I wouldn't have done it in the first 6 months. Like she would
Right.
say we're best friends all the time. I'm like,
Are
I
we?
mean, we're really close, but like
Right.
but you go with it. When somebody says you're my best friend, you don't say, well, you're not my best friend. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but
It
it
just
just was
seems
like
like,
the narrative was
yeah.
always like,
Yeah. The PTSD,
and
I think it would be like like they are taking up so much energy. Like you would feel depleted afterwards.
I felt like so at the end, I want you to say, I want you to realize how exhausted I was with the whole situation. And I thought it was me.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was hormones. Um, I thought it was my age. I thought it was that I maybe had some mental illness going. I'm not kidding you. Until that therapist was like, all
It
right,
ain't you,
I
girl.
normally wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
It's her. She's
Oh my God.
toxic. You
Yeah.
need to get her out of her life, out of your life.
Yeah.
Like it is toxic. Like until that, thank you, betterhelp.com therapist. But so once the discard phase, they get rid of you or you get rid of them. However it happens, sometimes they replace you.
Yeah.
If it's a relationship, which is, so hard for our ego. But if you set that ego aside, it's fine.
I was so relieved actually. Because I wanted to leave, but he was almost making it impossible. Like I tried to break up with him like 3 times. And then finally he said, let's move to Florida. And I said, you go look for a house and I'll join you in a day. I'm just gonna, pack things up here. And I literally
Mm,
had to buy a ticket, which I knew I wasn't gonna fly. So I bought a ticket and he flew
okay.
over. And I just never flew over and I moved and I changed my phone number and he just could not find me anymore. And that was
You
it. And
are
then
so
I
amazing.
found him years later on Facebook, but I would walk the streets like afraid, like that he would just pop up. But
Yeah.
then it's on Facebook, like he was engaged to somebody. And I was like, whew, whew. Like it was like such a relief that he found another target, even though I felt bad for the target. I was relieved.
Broad stroke apology to the
Broad stroke
targets.
apology to whatever her name is.
Well, and the thing is, when you like, not in that situation, but like I saw that she was going to screw over all these other people. I tried to tell them, they wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't listen. And then I was like, okay, like I sounded crazy because she seemed so normal because she's so good
Mhm.
at being
Yeah.
like, but I couldn't get like, you sound like a crazy person. And they like, some narcissists will like, if you're in a relationship, they'll turn your whole family against you.
Yeah.
They will triangulate and turn everybody
Yeah.
against
This
you. It's the
guy.
weirdest thing.
This guy did that with my dad, but my dad was, or tried to, but my dad
Yeah.
was too smart for it.
Well,
But
you probably saw him coming.
yeah, my dad was too smart for it. But in the beginning, so it was when I was also in active drug addiction. So what he did was, this guy took me to my dad's and said, Isabella is a drug addict and we need to help her. So that's how he tried to get in there. And then my dad's like, "Oh, thank you so much." But then later he really like saw him for who he was. But it's cunning the way what they do sometimes.
They're so cunning.
Like he
Oh
didn't really
God.
want to help me. He was just because I was with him when I was doing drugs, when I was trying to escape, then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get her dad involved now." Like,
That was my sister. She tried to get like turn me against my sister and my sister against me, and she would play us against each
yeah.
other. My
Oh,
sister did not fucking let it.
yeah, I
Like she
love
thought,
Chuck Norris. Oh, she's
oh,
like,
she was so
oh,
amazing. Like she
yeah.
like looking back, like, but she
Yeah.
can see people like that. I can't see. I'm a fucking
Well, when you're in
nightmare.
it, it's hard to see it because love bombing is nice. It feels good. Feels great to get
Well,
love
and
bombed.
it was a situation where like it was kind of feeding my daughter's happiness.
Yeah.
So it was such a vulnerable situation anyway.
Yeah.
And since then, I do want you to know, and this is the exciting part, is
Yeah.
everyone that was involved with her has come and apologized to me and said,
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
lovely.
sorry. And and then all the targets after keep coming and saying,
Yeah.
hey, I just want you to know, like, or you're they I've never even met them, and they are, kind of coming to me and being like, I'm sorry that happened. It happened to us.
Wow.
Like, it's,
Wonderful.
yeah, it's really shocking. Now, I just, you don't want, like, you don't want anything bad to happen, but you just wish that they would stop
Yeah.
and just go away.
Yeah.
It's like, stop hurting people. But I think it's something that happens in childhood, where they become these people that are really fed on admiration and very, um
Yeah.
they just, they have no boundaries, and they feel entitled to everyone else's energy and money and, um, attention and admiration. It's like an entitlement,
Yeah.
you know?
I wonder is there a percentage of narcissists that recover from narcissism? I'm wondering. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT because I'm very curious if you can recover from it.
You can. It's a behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
You can actually do it. The problem is, and I remember in the last phases of this thing, I was like, am I a fucking narcissist? I might be. Maybe I'm like, because it's like all about me. They will never, ever question themselves they
Yeah.
won't.
Because yeah, that's why I'm wondering, like, it takes a certain, like, what would be a narcissist's bottom, I guess.
Yeah. What is their lowest? I think that, like, if they had humiliation, like a pullback of all admiration, they might, we, like you say, we move at the speed of pain. They might start to get some therapy, and it would take a therapist that is so knowledgeable,
Yeah.
to be able to, like, because they're so good at bamboozling
Yeah.
people.
And a core, here's the why is recovery so rare, according to ChatGPT. Thank you, Chat. A core feature of narcissistic personality disorder is a complete lack of self-awareness. They
Uh, com-
genuinely don't think they are the problem, and their entire psychological system is built to defend against feelings of
Mhm.
shame and low self-worth.
And
And they absolutely will manipulate therapists, and they have a fear of vulnerability. But narcissistic traits also exist on a spectrum, just like
well,
other.
that's the thing. I have had narcissistic tendencies. You have, everyone has. Everyone, that's that, like, these are blips in our personality.
Yeah,
These are not a lifestyle,
yeah,
Like, the reason that I know it with her is because every single person that
yeah,
she is associated with ends up having this experience. Every
yeah,
single one.
yeah,
It's not one, it's all of us.
yeah,
So I would say I was going to go through real quick.
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to just go through and do a red flag and a green flag.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, do it, do it. That's fun.
So red flag, they rush into emotional intimacy.
Okay, I do that.
I do that too sometimes. Like, I'm
Damn
like,
it.
you're my best
That's why we're easy targets,
ever.
right?
Oh
Because they look
yes.
for people who also do that.
Well, and I truly believe that, like, I can meet you one time and adore you.
Yeah,
I and get to know you, like, and be connected to you. That's like how I meet people. But there are marble jars. The marble jar of friendship is like, slowly but surely you
yeah,
gain trust, you gain, um, you know, like that's what Brene Brown said is you need marble jar of friends is like every time I show up for you, that's a marble in your jar of friendship
Yeah.
for me. Like, and it grows and grows and grows.
I
So
like
if you
that.
let
Yeah.
intimacy grow naturally and respects a pace of some sort,
Yeah.
this is not we're moving in together tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to marry you the first time you guys kiss. That's not
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
red flag.
That was that was this guy. He
Yeah.
literally, it was like met me and it was like love at first sight. And like the same night, he's like, let's get married. I think I knew him one day and we moved in together like the next day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This covert narcissist, they always play the victim constantly. Everyone has treated me badly. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure when I left, it was such a relief to have
Yeah.
someone who's out that loves drama.
Yeah.
Narcissists, they think the truth is drama and that drama is the truth.
Got it.
That is my favorite quote that I've
Love
ever said.
it.
I to quote a master, me. Um, so a green flag would be that they take responsibility for like I want you to know that with this situation, I am the one that put my child in danger. I am the one that put my family in danger. I am the one that didn't heed the red flags. I am the one that didn't get out when I was feeling uncomfortable. This was my lesson. I
Yeah.
like fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, but she won't go and say what she did wrong. Like there's
Right.
no
Because they have
way.
zero self-awareness. They truly don't believe it's the problem. They're the problem. Yeah.
They have mood swings, silent treatments. I'm just going to do the rest of the red flags and then I'll go through and do the right. Do subtle insults disguised as jokes. I used to do that, I have to
Oh,
say.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. Sorry to my entire family and all my friends. Guilt trips or pressures for your attention. This was more like in this case, it was like pressure to pony up on money. Like
Mm,
you had to like it was always asking for more money. She
yeah.
like loved to spend everyone's money.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Um and like she was constantly trying to say that she was saving us money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like weird. Avoids accountability, needs constant admiration. That is a huge one. If you have a man that's constantly needing your praise, real men don't like praise that much. They don't like gifts and they don't like fucking praise. Little boys like you to buy them things, and little boys like you to tell them how good they are. Men
Yeah.
know, you know. Um, as for like, you know, a covert narcissist, like they're gonna need you to like need them. They're
Mm,
gonna need you, they're gonna want you to like post on Facebook about how much you appreciate them and this, that, and the
mm.
other thing. And they'll very rarely do it about you.
Yeah.
Their love feels like a coaster, high highs and low lows. I mean, we used to sit around and talk about, okay, like this is exhausting to be involved with this person. Like we
Yeah.
would sit around and, but she's so good in this way. She's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
in that way. Like,
Yeah.
I
Ups and
mean,
downs.
so the green flags are they let intimacy grow at a pace, a good pace, take responsibility, validate your feelings. They communicate directly and they are emotionally steady.
Hmm.
You know, like their mood isn't affecting your like they have moods, but like they're not taking anything out on
Yeah.
you.
You're not like, whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And you're you feel safe around them because they're not like the thing with this narcissist. I never knew what I was going to find. Is he going to be in a good or a bad mood today? And it kept me in a state of alert. And I hated that.
This is the best. I love ask question. Like I'll ask myself questions all the time. And this one is, when in doubt, ask yourself, do I feel safer, calmer, or more myself with this person, or more anxious, confused, and unsteady? If the answer is anxious, confused, and unsteady, you gotta pull away.
Yeah.
You feel calm. Their love feels steady and secure and drama free. Love is never like, I don't like when somebody says, it's just because I love you that I am doing this toxic behavior.
Hate that.
Like I'm over, like if somebody like does something toxic and says, well, I'm sorry, it's just because I love you. Love is not ever
toxic.
It should not make you feel bad in any way.
Yeah.
Like that is not love. That's something else. But I would venture to say the true covert narcissist or malignant narcissist or whatever, like different, like, but I don't know if narcissists can actually love, even to this day.
Should we ask Chad?
I don't. Let's ask. I don't think they can love. I think that they can act like it, but I don't think they do it.
Love. Let's see what AI says. Yes, but.
Yeah. I will say I've never seen anybody.
It's difficult for a person.
Be a worse parent.
Yeah.
Than a narcissist.
Yeah. Their love often depends on you fulfilling their needs. So it's a conditional.
That's not love. I'm sorry. That's just not love.
Sorry, Chat. That's not love.
Chat, get your shit together. That's not love.
Together. Chat's like, I don't know. I'm a machine. I don't know what love is.
Just give me a Chat's a narcissist.
I wrote, that's not love. And Chat wrote, exactly.
See, he's mirroring. Chat is a narcissist. Yeah, you know how you do feel when you ask Chat GPT something and he always gets you?
Yeah.
That's love bombing.
Yeah. Chat
You're always connected.
This is a good quote. It's narcissists have self-centered needs masked as love.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yep, I agree. But I just, for anybody out there who's dealing with this, read The Narcissist Playbook by Dana Morningstar. That got me really, that was a great book. And it really, like, I think you should read it. And even if you're not in a toxic relationship with a narcissist, it really does point out what is manipulation. And you can even see it. Like, I learned a lot about myself and how I might manipulate people accidentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I do it. I mean, I recognize it. That book really helped me because I recognize I'm like, oh, I'm kind of falling into this pattern of behavior and it's kind of manipulative from my side. Yeah. So.
Right. Anyway, all right. We will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
I love you.
Episode. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast.
Make sure to like, subscribe, like again, our YouTube channel, our Instagram, follow us wherever you can. It really, really helps us out and ensures that you won't miss any future episodes. So, yep, thanks to you, we can keep going.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.